Please join me in welcoming Tennessee Tech Director of Athletics Mark Wilson and Captain Butch Wilmore. Congratulations. 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 It's all yours.
Wow. How can you sit here tonight and listen to these stories of these fine young Americans and not be inspired? I mean, just amazing. I mean, yes. True heroes, patriots. I mean, people that are making a difference in the lives of others, not just themselves. And these, these top 10 individuals, these honorees, I just met today, and oh my, is our future not bright? Wow. Congratulations to every one of you, and it is an honor to share this stage with you. Congratulations. Yes, indeed. So, the NCAA Theodore Roosevelt Award. I was talking to my brother on the phone about a month ago. He says, Barry, Teddy Award, what are you going to say? And I'm like, Jack, I have yet to come up with an adequate adjective or list of adjectives to describe how I feel. He said, yeah, whatever. So, you're going to tell a space story, right? Well, actually, I do have a space story that I think is fairly applicable to how this whole thing has come to about and made me feel. So let me see if I can take you with me to the International Space Station. You're outside the International Space Station on a spacewalk. You are traveling 5 miles a second, so you are orbiting the planet every 90 minutes. You with me so far? And you are in a one-man space capsule shaped like a person. And you are working, you are busy, you are sweating because you're busy. And you're walking by your hands, obviously. You're not walking with your feet, but you don't let go of a hand until you got a good grip. You don't want to become famous for the wrong reason by floating off a structure, right? And as you're going, you're in the middle of the station and you go around a corner and all of a sudden, there is a radiator right in front of you. Now, the radiators transfer heat from the avionics, which build heat, into some fluid loops, and eventually it winds up on the outside of the space station, and it's dissipated into space through these radiators. Now, this was an early radiator that we used during the build of the space station, and I knew it was there as I came around the corner. What I did not know is that it was completely reflective, like a mirror. And so I come around this corner, and all of a sudden, for the first time ever, I see me in a spacesuit from head to toe. And I look at that guy, and then I look, as you heard in the video, I look out, and I see those gold solar arrays, and that's silhouetted against the silver of the station, and it's like spit shined. And then I look back at that guy, and I look back, and then the curvature of the earth and the beauty of the planet going by at 5 miles a second. And I looked at that guy again, and then I looked down. Jason, you'll appreciate this. There goes Hawaii below me. Are you with me on this? And I looked back at that guy, and I said, how did you get here? How did you get here? Now, I had similar feelings first time I landed on an aircraft carrier, professionally, and certainly personal feelings. There was a time when the pastor said, do you take this man? And Deanna said, I do. I'm like, wow. And the first time I held my daughters, I mean, you dads, you know what I'm talking about. How did I get here? Well, first and foremost, it comes from a sovereign God that allows certain things according to his plan and his purposes, and we give him the glory first. Secondly, isn't it a blessing to be born, grow up, and live in the land of opportunity, the United States of America. Isn't it not? If you have a pulse, that's all that's required. You can endeavor to do anything you want to do, anything. And I know all of you would agree, the parents that work hard for you to continue to give you that opportunity, thank you, Mom and Dad. Thank you. And then you grow up, and there's these structures in place called institutions, universities, affordable education at the state universities, which is where I went, to give me an opportunity to learn. We know that education broadens our opportunities, does it not? And then to play a sport that I loved. They didn't recruit me. I'm still a little upset at that. But I went to the coach. Don Wade was the head coach at the time, and I went to his office. He invited me in. He didn't know me from Adam. I said, Coach Wade, I'd like to play football. And he said a few things, and eventually he said one thing. I don't know if he said it to everybody, but he said it to me. He said, son, Coach Wade chewed a lot of tobacco, so he did a lot of spitting. He said, son, if you stick it out all the way to your senior year, you will always be a college football player. And I tell you what, that stuck with me. How many college athletes are in here? Raise your hand, please. You remember running those bleachers in winter workouts in 20-degree weather, up and down those bleachers? I do. I wanted to be a college football player. We ran gassers, and after a particularly not very good showing on Saturday, it was the following week, I remember this well, we're doing our conditioning and we're running gassers, sideline, near hash and back, far hash and back, far sideline and back. That's one. We called them ringers because we're running for the ring. And I don't remember how many gassers we ran, but I got to the sideline after umpteenth gasser, and I was like, and some of y'all know what I'm talking about. If coach says on the line one more time, I will die. And you know what coach did? Coach says, on the line, go. And I ran it, and I didn't die. And coach did it again. Coach did that from the point that I knew I would surely die if I had to take another step. We ran 7 more of those ringers. You don't think that takes you to a place that you didn't think you could go? You don't think that doesn't make you mentally, emotionally, physically tough? That's what college athletics does. And oh, by the way, the next morning I had a differential equations test and electronic circuits test. I passed the circuits test. We won't talk about the diff-E test. But that's what college athletics does, affordable education, and they help pay for some of my college, my education. Oh, I am so thankful for those opportunities. You know, they said that I could talk for a few minutes, and I hope you don't mind me taking this opportunity. When I retired from the Navy a year ago, and I did not have a ceremony. I chose not to because at NASA, I don't wear a uniform. My daughters rarely ever see me in a uniform. And I just thought, you know, let's focus on me. I'm not gonna do a ceremony, and I didn't. So my wife and daughters, a friend of ours, their son was retiring. They went to this ceremony, and my daughters came home, and they were so mad at me for not doing it, for not having a ceremony. So I wore this uniform for you ladies tonight, for y'all tonight. And I hope you don't mind if I take just a moment to share a couple of thoughts. It's a big night for the Wilmore family. It's big. And I just want to take a few moments to share some thoughts with these two young ladies, because, they're probably going to remember this longer, Lord willing, than any of the rest of us here. So, Darren is 13 and Logan is 10, and they're at that age where they do not like being pointed out in a room full of 900 people. So I would ask that you not stare at table number 6, at those two beautiful young ladies with their beautiful dresses and angelic smiles. Please don't stare at them while I talk to them. A couple things I want you to remember about your daddy tonight. First and foremost, and I hope you know this, your daddy loves Jesus Christ, my Lord and my Savior, my Redeemer. And I truly would not be able to truly love had he not first loved me. Second, I love your mother. Sometimes I understand, and I'm not sure why she loves me, but she does. And I am totally and completely committed to her and to those vows that we shared until death do us part. And I love the two of you. You are my and your mother's excitement, enthusiasm, happiness, focus. And I tell you what, I love being your daddy. Your daddy loves this country. And I am honored and privileged that this country allowed me to serve 30 years. And I am completely and totally committed to the ideals for which it stands. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And you have the torch to go forward and make sure that we continue to strive for those goals. And finally, your daddy loved playing college football. I love playing with guys like Billy Stover and Wayne Cravens and Danny Crooks and Dwayne Alexander. And this game, this system provided an education, an opportunity for myself and for so many of us. And just like your nana and your papa told me and my brother Jack, you will go to college. Did I mention I love being your daddy? Great. One final thought. As an astronaut, I get asked several questions, and one question that is fairly common that I get asked is, do you dream in space? And on the ground, do you dream about being in space? And, I don't dream a lot. But one thing, or several things I don't dream about, I have never dreamt about being in space. I've never dreamt about landing or taking off from an aircraft carrier. And I kid you not, the reoccurring dream I have is that I finally get an opportunity one more time to play college football. Coach says, now's the time. Get in there. And as you would guess, I can't find my helmet. So I start grabbing the other players' helmets, and none of them will go over my head, and I can't get in the game. And that dream reminds me of two things, or tells me two things. First, I obviously have the largest head on the team. And second, I will never really play this game again that I love and I loved. But I can always say that I am a college football player. Always. So with that, from the essence of who I am, the core of my being, I just want to relay, it doesn't seem suitable, but I want to relay a heartfelt, for myself, Deanna, Darren, and Logan, a heartfelt thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. God bless. Thank you.